Just a while back, I spoke to Jonathan, an African student, and he spoke about these rising cases of intolerance in the national capital and the fear among the African community.
The fact is there that is an racist attack, but until the day we agree that there is racism before we can get to a solution. When the police are denying that is a minor issue, that is when the people get more confidence in attacking foreigners more. Because when the police are not taking accurate action on the individual that did this to the foreigners in their land, and they are claiming it's just a minor thing, that is when you see the people going more deeply and beating up the foreigners in the land. Because if they agree that this is racist attack and look for a lasting solution to this, that is when we start having solution and people stopping this. A lot of series of things that happen. Even the police are there, themselves they are not exempted. The incident happened in Jepur, Means University. The police captured 20 African students in their custody and beat the hell out of them.
This increasing number of attacks on African nationals in the country, Minister V.K. Singh finds himself drawn to another attack from the opposition. Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Tejasvi Yadav has slammed centre over attacks on Africans. Tejasvi says it's an international shame. Responding to BJP charge of Jungle Raj in Bihar, Tejasvi had asked centre what kind of Raj is in Delhi where Africans are being attacked. Meanwhile, Broadcasters Editors Association has condemned V.K. Singh remarks on attacks on Africans, blaming the media for blowing up the issue. The board has said media can't run on ministers' diktats. So media body has also asked the Prime Minister to rein in his ministers. Earlier in a tweet, Minister of State External Affairs had blamed the media for blowing up the incidents of violence against Africans. Let me go across to my colleague Smita Sharma, who's joining me on the phone line for more on this. Smita, you know, a lot of people are asking this question. Mr. V.K. Singh is a repeat offender as far as attacks on the media is concerned. What emboldens him for such attacks? Is the Prime Minister not taking any action, or Mr. V.K. Singh is anyway going to go ahead and make statements as he and when he likes?
You know, even as an army chief, he was always controversial, and even after taking over as Minister of State for External Affairs, he has been running into, in fact, controversies every now and then. Last year around, when he was asked to actually go and represent India at the Pakistan High Commission, in fact, the Pakistan National Day function, you remember he came back and he tweeted with duty and disgust, and when media raised that story, he actually went on to call media persons as prostitutes, which is very, very disgraceful of a minister and completely unbecoming. But, you know, it's not like something where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to take action, but maybe Sushma Swaraj, Minister of External Affairs, should take at least acknowledge this, take note of this, because she's the one who's been personally monitoring the situation as far as attacks against African students.
So let's stay on with me. We are now being joined by Mr. Manoj Jha. He's a spokesperson of the RJD. Mr. Jha, thank you so much for speaking to us here on India Today. What do you make of this once again outburst that Mr. V.K. Singh has in fact directed towards the media?
I tell you, he has some perennial problems with the media, and I don't want to get into it. The issue is the media does not actually produce these kind of images. Media actually does not cook up these kind of disturbing images. Media only reports. And even in our first reaction, we had said that there are two issues. One, why we should ponder over why these xenophobic images are actually ascending. That's a serious civilizational question for us. And if a minister who is in the command, it shouldn't be distributed in MEA or Defense Ministry. It's a question of the entire ministry. It's a question for the nation at large.
Yeah.
And we have simply forgotten Gandhi's struggle in Africa. If we start believing in xenophobia and these kind of issues, I think we are actually losing credibility as an inclusive multicultural nation. That's my worry, not Mr. V.K. Singh's outburst, which is very frequent.
You know, Mr. Jha, it has almost become a habit as far as Mr. V.K. Singh is concerned. Every time there is any sort of controversy, he targets the messenger, he targets the media for creating these issues. Do you think it's high time now either the External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj or the Prime Minister himself should take some sort of a corrective measure as far as Mr. V.K. Singh is concerned?
I'll tell you, on the second anniversary, if I can make an earnest appeal to my Prime Minister, On 15th of August 2014, he spoke about moratorium. In spite of being in a position we actually welcomed it. He should begin it with people like Mr. V.K. Singh. There should be moratorium, at least for 20 years, on his speaking, on his kind of behavior, attitude.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jha, for speaking to us. The opposition, of course, attacking V.K. Singh for his remarks on the media. Smita Sharma still on the phone line with me. Smita, as the demand for action against V.K. Singh grows, are we likely to see at least some sort of a reprimand, as you were earlier saying that possibly Sushma Swaraj should acknowledge this?
Well, that's our best hope, in fact, but nothing concrete, because as far as the Prime Minister is concerned, he chooses to remain silent every time one of his ministers run into a controversy. He has never really commented at all or come out to defend any of his ministers who have run into controversies. But Sushma Swaraj, as I said, she is the one who's seen as a sensitive foreign minister, who reaches out to the diaspora in distress, who has also been very, very active, when the Congolese nationals were killed, and she was the one who took to Twitter despite having just come back from a prolonged, in fact, a medical problem. But she was the one who said that we are instructing General V.K. Singh as well as Amar Sinha, the Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs, who handles African nations, to meet with the envoys to sort out the issues so that the envoys do not boycott the Africa Day celebrations, and also to try and go ahead with the overreach, the government, in fact, overreach program, so that they reach out to students and learn from them as to what can be done. So one can only hope that this is an issue that does not go unnoticed or something where the government chooses to remain silent.
Thank you so much, Smita, for bringing us all those details and perspective on that story.